Hey, what's going on, everybody? Another video. I really appreciate all of the support that I have been receiving. All of my new subscribers, all of the comments. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Been making videos on my journey, starting a new career with Amtrak as an assistant conductor, the Amtrak trainee program, and located in Wilmington, Delaware. I've been experiencing a lot, going through a lot, dealing with a lot of variables, a lot of moving parts. And I definitely will say that the support that I have received from my viewers, my followers, it definitely has helped, and I appreciate it. A little bit bummed because my goal was to finish the program with a 100%. In 2015, I went to the CSX Ready Center in Atlanta, Georgia for locomotive engineer training, and I finished the program with the 100%. I made a 100 on all of the quizzes, all of the tests, and the locomotive simulator that I had to ride on to pass. And I set goals. It's good to set goals for whatever reasons. Your reasons may be different than mine. Whatever goals or aspirations that you plan and that you want to accomplish, it's all you can accomplish it. But as I stated, I took another test yesterday, and I missed a couple of questions, and it wasn't because I did not know the information. It was because of the way it was presented. So, for example, I'm going to talk about my previous employer, not my current employer, but I'm going to give you a good example. With Locomotive Engineer School, the questions were based around procedural. The questions were based around the actual rule, because there were a lot of rules. Train handling rules, operating rules, air brakes, a lot of rules. There's almost a rule for every situation. And with the CSX Locomotive Engineer Trainee Program 2015, they will ask you questions. For example, when can you extinguish the engine lights? And I remember it's like when you're like standing in the yard track, the engine tied down. It'll have simple answers to the question. It'll say when should the locomotive light be dim, and then you'll click through the answers. When the engine coupled to a cut of cars, when standing on a yard track, whatever the answers were, you would select either all that apply or select the best answer. But some tests that you take, they give you a paragraph or a scenario where they name people's names, and they name examples, and they name a lot of information, a lot of variables. And sometimes the information that they put into the question is not applicable. It doesn't even have anything to do with the actual question. Is my strong belief. It's just done to see if you're gonna catch it, maybe if you're gonna be able, because if you know it, you know it. And if you know the answer, regardless of what they put in the question, you're not gonna get tripped up by that. So I definitely will say, taking the program, you gotta make sure that you figure out some good test taking skills, especially if you want to finish at a 100%, because you can pretty much pay attention in class and study, and you can pass. It's doable. But if you want to get every single question right, you gotta be on your A game. And as I stated, some tests are straightforward. So it asks you, like, say like you were operating a excavator or a backhoe, and say, when should you do a first use inspection? That's kind of like self-explanatory when you first use the machine. And then they may say, when you first use the machine at night, or when you first use the machine at day, or it'll say when you first use the machine. See the example I just gave you? So you may study and know that in order to use the backhoe or the excavator, you need to do a first use inspection where you check the oil, you check the air pressure or the tires, you check the belts, you check for spills on the ground, you check the fuel levels, and so forth. Well, when you take the test, you know what the answer is, but they'll give you answers, as I just stated, trying to trip you up. And it doesn't matter if you do the inspection during the day. It doesn't matter if you do the inspection during the night. What matters is when you first use the piece of machinery, the piece of equipment. And the example that I just gave, I just made that up on the fly. I feel like that's a pretty good example to what I'm experiencing. I didn't talk about any specific test questions. I didn't touch on anything specific because we're dealing with trains. Everyone knows that. And a lot of the things that you deal with, you can search on the internet. But I'm not going to get into actual specific test questions and answers. But for the most part, if you have material and you study it and you know the material, then you should take it a step further and know what to look for. Know how to not get tripped up if you ever find yourself in the program. As I stated, all of the material says confidential, private, so I'm not going to talk about anything specific. But got out of class today, trying to stay focused, positive, and as I stated, all of the support that I have been receiving, it is greatly appreciated. Thank you. And the videos that I do, that's me, that's CJ. And today in class, I was thinking about a video that I want to do, because I've been catching this train that always stops. It pulls across the crossing. So I want to envision myself being the locomotive engineer running the train to the other end of the yard. So hopefully you'll get to take the ride with me. If not, we'll try again another day, but hopefully we'll have success. And yeah. I just made the run from where I last recorded myself documenting my progress on the assistant conductor Amtrak training program, and I wish to catch a train pulling in and taking off, but it didn't happen today. So yesterday I got a clip of a train making a set off, and I touched on block swapping. So for example, let's say you're on a road train and you're going from point A to point B. Point A to point B. It doesn't matter what the location is. You got on the train, it may have originated there, or it's a run through. You're getting on it at your home terminal or away from home terminal, whatever the variables may be, a lot of variables. When you get on the train, you look at your work order, and the work order could say, you know for sure you got to pick up 15 cars at X yard, for example. And also the work order shows you got to set off X amount of cars. So when you get on your train, a road train, you know when you get to a particular yard, you have to make a set off and a pickup. Well, when you get on your train, of course, the cars in your train are already brake tested. If it's a run-through train, you're getting on it on the main line, or there may be a industrial track or a run-through track, a lot of variables. Well, when you set those cars off, you're good. You don't have to do anything unless the yard master tells you to put that cut on yard air. And an example of the cut being on yard air, I'm not sure if you can see it or not. I'm trying to get a shot without being too close to the tracks. Well, if you look here, the cut is on yard air. Let's try to show you. Right there. There's a hose running to a air compressor, a huge air compressor. And the air compressor is supplying air to the yard. So for example, those cut of cars could have came off of another train, or it could be a local, an aerial local. And for example, I'm gonna give you some terminology, or what would be said if you had to do the pickup or the set off. So say like you're rolling along 50 miles per hour on the main line and you're the conductor. What you would do, you would say CSX Q415 calling Rocky Mount Yardmaster over. He may answer right away, may wait a while. I normally waited 30 seconds, sometime a minute, because he may be on the phone. He may be talking to another crew. He may be talking to the train dispatcher. CSS Q415 calling Rocky Mount Yardmaster over. CSS Rocky Mount Yardmaster answering over. Yes, sir, coming to you. Track number 1. Got 6 engines, 115 cars. Got a clear signal, Tar River. All right, understand. CSS Q415. You say you got 6 engines? Yeah, that's right. 2 of them dead in tow, and the other 4 are road power. So, okay, you got any set-offs for me? Yeah, it looks like I got to set off 25 cars, and looks like I got to set off the 2 engines as well. Okay, understand. Just keep them coming. Keep them coming. We're going to be going in 3DI at come in track number 2 and set your set off, talking to the Y198 on the south end of the yard. Set that cutoff in track number 8, as well as going over to the pocket to set those 2 cars off, those 2 engines off. And once you get done with that move, spot your 2 lead engines so the fuel truck can get to you over. All right, understand. You repeat back what he said and be good to go. So that's an example of talking to the yard master. He's giving you the instructions on where to set cars. And if you're wondering, yes, you see how the yard master didn't tell me to pick up those cut of cars, because that's like an unwritten rule. A lot of times the inbound crew doesn't like doing the work. They try to put it off for the outbound crew. So sometimes you'll get crews that'll drag their hand. They'll be dragging when they're getting close to the yard because they don't want to do the set off or they don't want to do the pickup. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found something useful, learned something. If you did, please click like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. And until next time, let's catch nice fish. Here we go. Look how everything worked out. ES44AH, CW44AC. A brand new T-Box car. Built 623. Look, this is the only set off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, look at girl. Hey! Hey, what's up? What's up? Well, at least he spoke to me. They both have less than 1 year of service. The orange vest. That's amazing. That made me feel empowered, make me feel amazed to see that. That's awesome. So, roughly about an hour ago, I saw this train pulling into the yard from the other end, and I was getting ready to head into the store. Well, I made my way back around, and now I'm on the other end of the yard, and the train that was pulling in, it cut away with, I believe, 4 cars. So that's the train that it pulled in with, and it cut off the head 4 cars, which may be the set off for this yard. So even though it's 4 cars, it's still considered block swapping. So you'll have a train that originates somewhere and it has different blocks. So this train may be setting off a block of cars that's for Wilmington, Delaware, and then they're picking up another cut of cars. Now, that switch up there was lined normal. That switch up there was lined normal. It reversed, and now they're shoving back. They probably got a restricting back into the yard. See the lady conductor? That's the lady conductor shoving, protecting the movement. Less than 1 year of service. Wonder why she was actually where she was riding was not the safest place to ride. I remember when you ride, you want to ride on the far end of the leading movement. So if you fall, you at least bump aside the cars. Where she was riding, if she falls, she will fall in between the cars. Yeah, I don't know why she was riding there. That's not where you ride on a shoving movement or pulling movement. Catch not fish.